Ready, 1, 2, 3.
Good morning, Mr. Ben and fellow classmates. Today, Gwendolyn, XiuYi, Rhoda, Nicholas, and I will be presenting on our great supermarket chase. All the picture in the PowerPoint was taken in Rhoda's NTUC.
Our PowerPoint will be on our task, bonus task, and video task.
For our first task and first question, we have to find 3 different brands of fresh milk. Our first brand was Meiji from Japan, our second brand was Marigold from Australia, and our last brand was Greenfields from Indonesia.
For our second question, we had to find 2 brands of fresh, non-concentrated orange juice. Our first brand is Sunkist from Singapore, and our second brand is Florida's Natural from USA.
For our third question, we have to find 3 brands of 100% whole money rice. Our 3 brands are Double FP, Golden Phoenix, and Gold, which was all grown in Thailand.
For our fourth question, we had to find 1 brand of Japanese rice. The brand is Fair Price. Although it's Japanese rice, it is a product of Vietnam.
For our fifth question, we had to find 1 brand of basmati rice. Our brand is Fair Price, which is a product of Pakistan. A little history on basmati rice is that the word basmati derives from the Sanskrit word basmati, which means fragrant.
For our bonus task, we were asked if any of the sources of milk, juice, or rice surprised us, and why so.
We were actually surprised because when we first heard Japanese rice, we thought that it would all be grown in Japan, and almost didn't bother to even check where it was grown in. Surprisingly, when we did, we found out that it was grown in countries like USA and Vietnam. We were surprised even more when we researched and found that USA produces more than 100 types of rice.
For our second task and first question, we were supposed to find out the most common type of rice that Singaporeans would buy. We thought that it would be quite unrealistic to stand there the whole day and observe which bag of rice was most often taken off the shelf. So we asked the NTUC staff, since they knew better as they took care of the restocking, and some even worked at the cashier counter, scanning out people's groceries.
After asking a few staff, they all had the same answer, which was the cheapest brand, long grain white rice KAA. It was selling at only $5.90 for a 5 kg bag of rice.
For our second question, we were supposed to find the most expensive brand of rice and where it was from. After much calculation and searching of the shelves, the brand that was the most expensive was Natural Organic from Thailand.
It was selling at $8.90 for a 2 kg bag of rice. Based on simple calculation, when divided and multiplied, it will be $22.25 for a 5 kg bag of rice, which, when compared with the long grain white rice AAA, is more than 3 times more expensive.
We wondered what made it so expensive and did some research and observation. The natural organic rice was not only obviously organic, but it was also gluten-free, free from GMO, and it was brown rice. Brown rice still has the German brand, which contains almost 5 times the fiber and 2 times the iron of white rice. They are also rich in protein, calcium, magnesium, and potassium. It also takes a shorter time to cook and is said to be easier to digest.
For our third question, we had to find the cheapest brand and where it was from. It was not hard to realize that it was the same brand that was most purchased, long grain white rice AAA. The brand is budget, that is from Vietnam. Comparing by kg with the most expensive brand, the expensive brand is at $4.45 per kg and the cheapest brand is at $1.18 per kg.
For our second bonus task, we were asked to suggest possible reasons why rice prices can be so different within countries and brands. We did a lot of research and discussion and came up with a few reasons why the rice prices can be affected based on countries and brands.
A few possible reasons we came up with was the quality and type of rice, and how it was grown. Simply, if the rice was harder to grow, it was obvious that the price of the rice would be higher, as more effort and time had to be placed into growing the rice.
A reason of why the brand will affect the price of the rice will be because of the farming and harvesting method. Also, its quantity that is harvested at a time will matter, because the lesser the quantity, the more energy and time will be placed into harvesting the rice.
The labor work might also be cheaper in some countries. Other than that, where the rice is being shipped to also matters. Also, obviously, the further the rice has to be shipped from the place where it was grown, it will most definitely be more expensive.
For example, the most expensive rice that we found, which is of higher quality type is the jasmine rice, commonly known as Thai Homani rice. It's the most produced strain of rice in Thailand.
For our third task, we were supposed to find a meal which had to be in a budget of $2. We chose Oreo, which was $1.95 per pack. It contained 1.1 kcal, which would be 1,269 kcal in total. Per pack, it also contained 1.5 grams of protein, 6 grams of fats, 142 milligrams of sodium, 0.6 grams of dietary fiber, and 11 grams of sugars.
For our third bonus task, we were asked if we thought there would be any correlation between obesity and income levels. With research, we derived that there was no obvious relationship between obesity and income, as the groups with the lowest levels of obesity are poor men and rich women.
We read up and was explained that low-income women usually tend to be single mothers and have less time to focus on nutrition and health.
Also, those with low income tend to buy cheap foods, which contains high level of refined grains and added sugars and fats. Also, wealthier men have the money to buy all the food and tend not to care about health and looks. Therefore, the groups with the highest level of obesity are the poor women and rich men.
For the fourth task and the first question, we were supposed to find one food item from Singapore. We chose eggs.
For the second question, we were supposed to find one food item from any African country. We chose blueberries from Morocco.
For our fourth bonus task, we were asked why we thought it was difficult to find any agricultural product from Africa. We figured that it would have most likely been due to the poor facilities and transportation for products.
Also, the farming season also happens around 2 months per year, and if it fails during that season, they will not even have enough for themselves.
For the fifth task, we were asked to use regional maps and arrows to show where the main food sources were from. From North America, our staples such as wheat and potato, and our fruits such as grapes and oranges come from there.
From Asia, our vegetables such as cabbage and soybeans come from China. Our rice comes from Thailand, and our meat such as chicken and goose and other food items such as onions and garlics come from Malaysia. From Australia, our dairy such as milk and cheese comes from Australia and New Zealand.
For our fifth bonus task, we were asked what are some of the possible reasons why Singapore has such a large variety of food sources. With research and discussion, we came up with 3 main points: wealth, good facilities, and farming, and partnership.
Well, because Singapore has enough money to buy food from other countries. And good facilities and farming because we have farms that farm eggs, vegetables, and milk, which is then put into the market to be sold to us.
And partnership because Singapore has a wide and good partnership with other countries, which means that other countries are willing to sell their supplies of goods for us, allowing Singapore to have a wide variety of food sources.
For our last task, it is a video task of a dish which each of us chose. We were asked to label as many ingredients as we could on where the ingredient was from. Please enjoy.